quite good.
But what I think what I see that the issue is that it's quite the setup procedure is quite complicated. I mean, you have to implicitly know and understand a lot of things. Like, for example, connect.
Yeah.
Doesn't say connect to what? To backend, to Wi-Fi, to Bluetooth, to headset, or whatever. And it's also implicit that it actually means connect and synchronize configuration. And you need to understand that you need to do this to get the configuration across, which is...
And also the credentials with Twitch and YouTube, that you just knew that you had to reconnect over Bluetooth.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing we wouldn't know.
Yeah, but in the end, in the end, the user will have to do this every time after signing into the new account. He need to, for the first time, he need to pair his headset with the application to connect it to the cloud by Bluetooth. To share these credentials.
Of course, also, the UX. Please don't get me wrong. I mean, this we are not making the final app that the customer will use, the end user will use. We are making a prototype app, but if we send this to the customer for testing, it will be very hard for them to understand how to use it. So I think we need to work a bit on the
UX.
Yes.
Yeah, we maybe we need to discuss it. Maybe it should try to connect by Bluetooth every time after signing in to make it mandatory, and only then show you the possibility to go to the viewfinder. I don't know. These are some UX things that we need to think about. Because from the other side, for the viewfinder, you don't need to send the credentials for just viewfinder. But if you want to record a video or stream to Twitch or YouTube, you have to do this first step. So maybe we should make it mandatory. I don't know. This is something that we can discuss.
So that, first time you have to select the headset. After you have selected a headset, you have to actively remove it. So you don't have to select which headset you want to connect to every time. And by doing this, you could make it automatic, so that as soon as there is something to send to a headset, whether it's a command, whether it's configuration, whether it's whatever, then it will automatically send it in the background. You don't have to manually go in and say connect.
Yeah, but after signing out and signing in, I'm not sure if... I think that when you sign out, you should clear all the data, like you shouldn't have any headsets stored, remembered, and then after signing in, send some data to this headset, because maybe you are the new user with new headset.
Right, sure, but as long as you don't sign out, which is because normally you get your headset, you have a phone, and you sign in once, and then you're signed in. You don't sign out again unless something really special happens, like you have to completely upgrade the app or something.
Yes.
But I think there are two things, at least for me. I mean, please jump in, others. One thing is that we're working on the UX, and I think you have already identified this. So let's talk about how we can proceed on that. But the other is how to, because in a sense, even though it's complicated, we should be able to reproduce what you just did here. And maybe we need to document a little bit better the testing. How this can be done in several ways, like Nina pointed out here before you guys were here, that it could be documented like in a flow diagram as a requirement input to the development, or it can be documented as simply a test procedure. And to make it simple, I would suggest we use a test procedure. And at least at this point, to document how we test it. I guess you are testing this continuously as you develop.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is maybe some documentation explaining how it is tested. So explaining all of these steps.
Yeah, actually, a couple of the screens have been done just on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday last week. So for sure, we didn't have a full overview how it will work. But you're right that we should prepare some document explaining this. And of course it can be updated later when we change something or add new features. So yeah, let us prepare this.
Okay, I will prepare that.
Yeah, and also, for example, today was a good example because you actually run into some corner cases, right? I mean, you try to start the viewfinder without the local Wi-Fi enabled.
Yes, exactly.
That should be filed as a case or as maybe not as a bug. Well, as a bug, saying that if this happens, then the app should give an error message that you need to enable Wi-Fi and so on. And I think there are more corner cases in that situation. For example, when you activate the viewfinder and you're on a Wi-Fi but on a different Wi-Fi, then you will also have a problem. Because if we do that and get a good habit around doing that, then when we test and we find problems, we file in the same way that you do, and we can reuse all of that data. And then when the customer starts to file problems, then there is already an established method to describe those problems, and let's say we get better feedback loop from the customer and tighter collaboration. So I think we should establish that practice early on, so it's natural.
Maybe we should. The question is how to document, like use just Word document or a Confluence or just a
I think Jira is good, isn't it?
But I'm not sure in Jira if there is easy way to put documentation. Like a Confluence would be a very good tool, but
we only need to describe how it's tested at this point. Well, then of course, if you want additional documentation, which of course is a good idea, then either wiki or just Word document is fine.
yeah.
But
For the testing, you can use the test kit in Synapse. That's used.
Oh, okay.
So Synapse is the plugin for Jira. Do you use that, Pavel?
What?
Synapse, it's a plugin for test management in Jira.
Yes. I just can prepare a test case for each issue to confirm the good working of that. So maybe this is the resolution.
Where do you track your testing at the moment?
I just tested in Jira and with the developers. So I don't document that.
It's rather like we work on each patch in Gerrit and task in Jira. We just put it to the QA queue and Rafał test it, and either he accept it or either not, and comment it in Jira or speak directly to the developer.
Okay, and it is not put to done if it's not tested okay?
I'm not sure, not always, I think.
Yeah, but I think the trick is here to document what the problem was. So not just say okay, not okay. If it's okay, we want to understand what was okay. And if it's not okay, we want to understand what was not okay.
I wrote to the tester some additional information that I wanted in those comments. I don't know if you've seen it.
Not yet, but I will read it.
And this plugin, maybe...
It should be there by default, but otherwise
I
we
think
can
they're
add
already using it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but not for the patch testing.
Yes.
But That's fine.
I mean, that was the
Yeah.
commentation.
But I mean, when we do patch testing, you should not put the Jira dev task into done if it's not tested
yeah.
okay. So that is one of the, if it's done, then it should also be tested okay. Otherwise, it progress again. But it's just a process, so that's fine.
I have another question. Getting the headset app to work on development board, we haven't been able to do that.
Yeah,
And
we are in touch with Johan, and we had a meeting, 2 meetings last week, 1 meeting today, because for some reason we can run it on the device that we have here, but for some reason you are not able to run it on your devices, and this is a problem that we don't understand right now. Why is it? There is some. There
But
are also
I have
some
another
steps.
question. How are you able to use it without a display if it doesn't have Wi-Fi activated from the beginning, and if Bluetooth isn't in pair mode in the beginning?
We always set up Wi-Fi on the device.
With visor or something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, but
with
then
the
the first
Bluetooth,
step be to get it working
right
at all,
now-
right?
Yeah.
right now,
I didn't
I
test
don't know how, so.
yeah, we didn't test this setting Wi-Fi by Bluetooth because I made some fixes last week for this feature, so we need to test. But I think it should now work
Yeah,
if
but
only Bluetooth is turned on.
yeah, but Pavel is talking about the new release which haven't came yet, and
Yeah.
in next release we will have this Bluetooth.
So it
setup.
should be possible to connect to the Wi-Fi, but then you don't know what is the IP address. Yeah, because you need to get IP address from the device.
And that should be sent over Bluetooth.
Yeah, true.
Displayed in the companion app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a question because when you meant that you weren't be able to run headset application on the device, you mean viewfinder or the headset, the application at all?
The headset application. I haven't been able to stream from the headset if it's on our development board.
But do you see this viewfinder page, this page with buttons, or you are not able even do this?
Isn't that on the companion
Yes.
side?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the-
that's what I'm trying. I'm using the headset app on the development board and the companion on a separate device.
Yeah. So this web view, which is in the companion app, if you see it, then it means that the headset application actually works because it's HTTP server. So you are connected, but most likely you have.
Yes, but there is no picture. There is
yeah,
no.
the viewfinder
it doesn't
is
film
yeah. So this is what we discussed with Johan, that that streaming of camera doesn't work.
Yeah. So the problem is that we agree it's not stable, but we are quite easy to able to run it on low resolutions. And on your side, it looks like it's worst. And
Yeah, it doesn't work at all. So this is something that we don't understand right now. Why we can run it, maybe not in a very stable way, not for all of resolutions, but at least it works. And on your side, for some reason, it is not working. So this is that we are trying to investigate together with Johan right now.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas and we sit on it.
Yeah.
And Pavel recently proposed to implement
WebRTC protocol, maybe to see if with WebRTC we will be able to replace this RTSP server that is the implementation right now. But
yeah, and I think it's good if you make all the stuff that you build, that you make it very resolution chain resilient, if you understand what I mean. Because what is now currently being discussed in the optics part of the project is to crop the image very early on in the ISP, so that you will actually get funky resolutions from the sensor standard. And the reason for that is that the industrial design is moving the optics too close to the head. So if you stick to the current field of view, then you will see a bit of the forehead and glasses and so on of the user. It cut out. So there will be a crop, and then you can say, well, you should change the field of view of the sensor or alignment. Yes, but that's too complicated. They would rather just crop the image. Therefore, it's important that we are not too dependent on fixed resolution.
so maybe we should put it manually, like
or at least it should be configurable, and we need to test with various resolutions.
Because now we get a list of supported resolutions from the camera API, I think, but then it occurs that codec doesn't support all these resolutions, and this is something that I personally maybe don't understand. But there are some problems. What I observed, that some resolutions are not supported by codec, but we show them. So maybe.
And there is another thing that RTSP server agrees, the client and the server also, the resolution, and they are able to reconfigure it. But I haven't also investigated it yet. So this resolution issue is it's complicated.
Yeah. Well, I think get something working for P0, and then the cropping stuff we will have to take afterward. But just so you know, it's good to be able to handle multiple resolutions, because that will be required later down the road.
Yeah.
I don't think you're talking about the same stuff, because they are talking about the resolution of the encoded video. You're talking about the resolution of the camera sensor. They are completely different.
Yeah, but the codec needs to be able to encode whatever the camera outputs. And as far as I understood, that was...
Yeah, I think so. The question is, do you know this RTSP streaming service is encoding? Is it encoding in software, or does it utilize the hardware encoders provided by Qualcomm?
It utilizes Qualcomm's.
Yeah, so that should be pretty easy to look up exactly what the platform support. If you need help with that, I can give you the numbers.
Yeah, it would be really good. I would appreciate. So if you could point me to the direction to the documentation where it is, maybe, or just copy paste from the source code.
Yep, no problem.
But does it mean that we will hard code the resolution?
Yeah, we could, because we know whether we are on the device or mobile.
But then when we run it on the mobile phones,
this is another question. But
don't forget that the customer wants the apps to run on phones as soon as we are able to ship them, basically. So it must still hard coding and such things. Please be careful with that. I mean, it should still work on normal Android phones, let's say.
Yeah.
So no, you shouldn't hard code anything. You should ask the media codec what it supports. There are APIs for it in Android, and that will in turn actually ask the framework.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. So you mean, Johan, that we could have a list of resolutions which we are interested in, and all the time ask codec, any codec, like on a mobile and on our device, whether it implements it, it supports it, and then show it as a preferable settings.
Yeah, there are some CTS tests we can look into to see exactly how the framework, how the application calls the framework to get the list.
Mm-hmm. Will you be on the 2nd of May at work? On Thursday? Because Wojciech will be back from his holiday, but only for one day. And I think we should discuss it with him, because I remember that he tried to get the resolutions from the codec, but he had some problems with it. Like he said that it's not working very well. I mean that, but I don't know the details. I don't remember the details. But maybe it would be good to make another meeting on Thursday to discuss it. Will you be at work or you have a holiday also?
I don't know about any holidays, so I will be at work.
Okay.
May 1st is the public holiday here.
Yeah, but I remember, Dan, that you said that many people take holiday because first of May is a holiday, so someone want to take Thursday and Friday also holiday and have.
Yeah, some people do, but I don't think we have anyone in the call.
Yeah,
but it's not relevant for this.
Mm-hmm.
So no problem. It's we are working today and tomorrow, and then not Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, we also have a Wednesday holiday, but also Friday is a national holiday in Poland, so we will not work.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an idea to send Arthur next week to you for like 3 days maybe, to try to work on your hardware, work with you. And then on another week I will be in Lund, but I have some training session and meetings, but also Wojciech will come and work maybe for the whole week from Lund's office. What do you think?
That's very good. Let's also that's great. And let's aim for having this working on the development board by then. And also I think we should quickly agree on how to improve the UI.
Mm-hmm.
But we can do that in another meeting.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Because it depends when we want to send it to the customer, because there are a lot of small things like error handling, progress, or better notifying the user what is going on. But in the end, it takes some time to implement it. So we need to make some agreement or prioritize the things that we want to improve, and agree how to improve it. Discuss how to implement them.
I'm afraid that it's really complicated. Do we have like someone who is some UX designer? Because one meeting is fine, but I believe it would take like a week for someone to figure it out how to do it properly. So it's a lot of work. We spent some time on it, so it's not so worse like it could be now. So it's not easy to implement, because there are things like some of UI is made on HTTP server and some not. It's a companion app UI. So and there are different services. It's really not easy. Someone must like sit on it.
But I think what's important is the basic flow of authentication and how you handle Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And I think that we definitely need to fix. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be easy enough to use. And also Richard on the customer end, he's a fairly experienced software engineer. So he can relate to these things. So we can, on Thursday, when we have our status meeting with him, Pavel, let's have a proposal ready and discuss it with him on Thursday.
But do you need support from a specific UX designer?
I meant that maybe if we had to we have to redesign it, so sooner or later we end up in the situation that we really need to implement what was agreed with the customer. So maybe it would be good to involve someone who is a designer and who could start soon.
Do you have any UX designers in Poland, or should I talk to Herman, see if Linda or Johan is available for some hours?
Yeah, we don't have anyone.
You don't have?
Yes.
Okay, I could check with Herman and see if there is someone.
Yeah, I think he has one in Doro project even, but that is partially involved. So maybe he has some time. I don't know. But Dan, do you think that we should make a similar demo for the customer on Thursday?
Yes, we should. Unfortunately, we are getting kicked out of the room now, so we have to stop here. But yes, I think we should. Let's plan for that. I will call you after this meeting and let's talk about that.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
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 Nie było chyba tak źle.
No nie wiem.
Bo lepiej niż myślałem.
Myślę, że trochę się uspokoili też, dobra, to działa.
Pokazali, że działa.
Sporo rzeczy działa, wiadomo, gdzieś tam ten
Dobra,
UX
ale
nie
z
jest...
tego co oni mówią, to musimy zmienić jakiś ten development way. Bo teraz to robisz milion patchy na raz i wrzucasz to, a to musi być pogrupowane jednak.
No, coś na pewno musimy i dokumentację też musimy zacząć pisać i te scenariusze.
Ja myślę, że tak jak mówiłem, że z każdym patchem, jak będzie coś na dzirze, to jeżeli ja to zaakceptuję, to od razu jakoś tam ścieżkę do przetestowania tam napiszę po prostu. Myślę, że to powinno wystarczyć.
Myślę, że też w jednym miejscu musimy mieć jakieś takie, tak jak w Bedze jest w Confluencie,
Ale
wszystko
to już
opisane,
zaczął
każdy
Wojtek
feature.
A może ten
To jest na Redmanie.
Na Redmanie się tworzy dokumentację.
Ale właśnie tam już jest, Wojtek zaczął to
No właśnie.
i tam już jest zalążek.
Więc tam powinniśmy to wszystko wrzucać.
No tylko to chyba ty, Rafał, będziesz musiał kontynuować, bo w developmencie nie będzie czasu na to.
No dobra, ja to mogę wziąć.
No to możemy tak zrobić.
Ale wracając do tego, co ja powiedziałem, to teraz każdy patch powinien mieć taskę na dzirze.
No, pewnie tak.
O Jezu.
No.
Znaczy to tak powinno być.
To znaczy,
powinno być.
nie wiem jak z backendem,
Ale tak czy siak powinno być, tak, że każdy...
bo backend, tak jak mówisz,
Dam. Yes, hello.
Hello. All right.
So maybe we should plan a meeting. I don't know, like tomorrow to discuss this UX and what we would like to show to the customer on Thursday. Or
Yes. But I wouldn't count on that we will get more people. That's one thing. So I think we should just try and agree with the customer. And I don't think this is going to be too complicated. Actually, I have been working a lot with UI on Verisure and UX. So if we can just try to review some basic flows, and we can do this tomorrow and agree on let's say, because what also needs to be considered is what is the effort to implement it.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
we cannot redesign everything. It is not practical. We need to work with what we have got. So if you and me sit down and we agree on a flow and try to make as little changes as possible. And I think a lot of it is this reconnecting all the time. That is really awkward. I mean, what you want to do is you want to sign in with your Google credentials, and if you haven't paired a headphone before, you need to select which headphone, and then that information should be saved. and you shouldn't have to implement to write it again. So as soon as you do something that requires configuration to be sent to the headset, then it should automatically connect to the last headset that you used and send the information. And if that fails, it should pop up a message saying that it could not be performed. And then the rest of the stuff you have done I think is fine for this stage. It's quite self-explanatory. You know, you push. If I want to stream, you push stream. If you want to viewfinder, you push viewfinder. It's fairly simple. It's all these preparational steps that needs to go away, so that you only kind of sign in, you pick a headset, and that's it, and you never touch that again.
But just notice that most time when I reconnected to headset was after sign out and sign in, and after the second is that after restarting the headset application. But this restart I have a fix that I need to do, that when the headset application restart, it should read the credentials from database. It is not done yet. Then I had to connect again to the headset, but this will be fixed, and this scenario will be gone. So you will only need to connect after signing in. That is, I think, okay. But yeah. Okay.
Well, let's review all the processes. So so maybe we can book a meeting tomorrow, and I think it's good if Josephine is also in that meeting.
What time?
Yeah, is 8:30? Is that too early?
8:30, maybe 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I have a new meeting at 9:30. That's the problem.
Okay. Well, for me it's okay. Okay. 8:30 is okay.
Yeah, so because Josephine is also here, she's here at 7 every morning. I think.
Okay.
So
I will ask guys also to be earlier, because some came to at 9. But I will see. Maybe only me and Rafael will attend the meeting.
Yeah, that's okay. I think it's that's fine. And then if because then I will tell Josephine to spend the afternoon to get more acquainted with these reconnect functions on the phone, and let's agree on how we approach it tomorrow already. So because I'm very hesitant to bring in new people also, because in a UX situation the most important thing is to understand the user. And this takes a lot of time. Right? I mean, if we bring in a UX person, this person needs to first study the product, understand how it's going to be used, and yada yada. And that's a lot of information to get your head around before you can actually start to talk about UI. So I think that will take too much time, simply.
Yeah, that's true.
So so let's do this as a step one, and then we can, when we present this to the customer on Thursday, and if we get poor feedback, then we can ask the customer, well, we can bring in a UX person if you want to, but that was not really in scope it's not in scope for the P0, or actually for the entire project, to have a UX person on the companion app. So if they want that's actually a project change, and then we can discuss on Thursday if they want to do that or not. And I think the answer will be not.
Probably. Okay. So let's meet tomorrow 8:30. I will send the invitation.
Great. Talk to you then.
Yeah. Bye.
Take it. Bye.
Mogę.
O tym miło się wydało. Jasne.
rozpocząć i jutro zostać dłużej?
No... Tak, testowanie.
Mogę?
No jak musisz, jak potrzebujesz, to
Potrzebuję.
leć.
To jutro pójdę do
No dobra.